Tennis season is in full swing, and we are gearing up towards one of the most prestigious tournaments that happens every year. And today we've got a really special edition, a special dial from Rolex that I'd like to discuss that pays tribute to that tournament. For those of y'all that didn't quite pick up on it, today we're going to be talking about Wimbledon. This is a tournament that takes place in London every year. It's about 2 weeks long. This year it's going to be happening from June 28th to July 11th. Of course, it's 2021, so next year those dates might be slightly different. But I want to kind of go into the history of how this partnership came into being, why Rolex was chosen, and what it is that's so special about the tournament of Wimbledon. Now, Rolex, as we know, as most people know, is one of the most recognizable brands in the history of watchmaking. And Wimbledon, very similar, is the most prestigious tournament and one of the oldest tennis tournaments that is still around today. So it's a really great matchup between the two of them, just with not only just their history and long standing in their own particular industries, but also how they complement one another. So Rolex began the partnership with Wimbledon back in 1978 when they became the official timekeeper. So of course what they were doing was timing the matches to precision to make sure that any sort of accuracy as far as keeping up with the time was kept accurate. And that's a very important thing, not only just in tennis, but in most sports. And you'll find that Rolex has a lot of partnerships with very high-profile sporting events and sports throughout the world in today's society. Now, when I wanted to kind of talk about not only the traditional elements of the company and the tournament themselves, but it goes a little bit deeper. I mean, Rolex really takes a traditional approach to the designs and styles of their watches. They haven't changed much since the beginning. You know, subtle changes, definitely technologically advanced. You know, they're always creating new pieces that have the current most up-to-date technology, so it improves the functionality of the watch. But if you look at the Datejust or the President, the style of the watch, the shape of the case is something that is considered timeless by the watchmaking industry. Now, Wimbledon also has some very traditional elements to it, right? It's played on grass, you know, as opposed to clay or the other materials that they use for the courts. And the players actually are required to wear 90% white clothing when they're on the field. So it's the perfect matchup, and pun intended on that one. Now, roughly 40 years after Rolex started this partnership with Wimbledon, they ended up releasing this special edition dial. They call it the Wimbledon Dial. Now, that is not the official title, I believe, given to it by Rolex. It's something that society has kind of garnered and created as a part of it, very similar to like the Starbucks or the Kermit. You know, it is a Rolex dial. Now, what makes it special is not only just the fact that it incorporates green into the hour markers, but it's a very unique dial. So you'll notice that all of the dials themselves are going to be a slate gray dial with a sunray effect. So if you look really closely into the dial, you'll see that these lines radiate outward from the center where the hands are all connected. And it's a very subtle thing. It's not something you would notice when you first look at it. It's got this flat, smooth, it does have a sheen to it. When I say flat, I don't refer to the color, but it's a smooth surface. But if you look really closely, you will see that there are really intricate details laid into the design of the dial. Now, it does have Roman numeral hour markers. They're going to be black Roman numerals, but on the outline of each of these Roman numerals comes in green. And that is kind of a nod to, you know, the grass that they play on when they're at Wimbledon. Now, you'll notice that unlike most of the Roman numeral hour marker dials that we see from Rolex, this one only has one baton hour marker, right? We see some that'll have a combination of Roman numeral and hour markers and the batons, but this one, aside from the date, it's all Roman numerals and then just one baton hour marker. And the reason that they did that, they placed it at 9 o'clock, and it creates symmetry with what is always at 3 o'clock on the date, just being the date aperture. Now, there are a couple other things that I'd like to talk about regarding this style of watch. It does come in the 41 millimeter size, but you're not restricted to just this particular watch. I mean, the one I've got in my hand here has a fluted gold bezel with an Oyster bracelet, but you can get it on a Jubilee bracelet. You can get it with the domed or the smooth bezel. You can get it with rose gold. You can get it in just stainless steel. You can even get it in stainless steel with the white gold fluted bezel. So all of the favorite configurations regarding metal content are available with this dial. Now, it's a wonderful watch. Obviously, it is a little bit unique. So whether you're a tennis fan or a Rolex enthusiast or just a watch enthusiast in general, people that see this dial are going to recognize what it stands for because it is the unofficial watch of the Wimbledon tournament. And when I think about this watch and the history of the watch itself, the history of the tournament, well, when you look at what Rolex does for tennis and other sports, at the end of the day, Rolex doesn't just tell time, it tells history. So like the bell, hit and subscribe, come check back, give us some feedback. We'd love to hear about what you guys want to learn more about when it comes to watches. And don't forget to tune in to our next episode.